What if I told you every decision you've ever made was right, was absolutely on point, was exactly what you were supposed to do at that place and at that time? What if I told you that all the decisions you made that were taboo or unacceptable in the eyes of the status quo were exactly what was planned by the divine? Surprise, surprise, you are on track. Granted, you are on the right side of that track. Granted that you are a learning person, someone who is humble or willing to accept the fact that you made a mistake, truthful with yourself and others. Everything that you did, even the dark parts, things that you have carried some remorse for, were exactly what you were directed to do by the Most High. Because all the world is a classroom, and each of us students therein. There'll come a time, if you are that learning person and someone who believes in self-development, where you can look back at your life and your mistakes and say, damn, I was right all along. How the fuck? You'll be amazed. Trust me. Even the people that betrayed you, stabbed you in the back, you'll say, well, damn, I was right for cussing that ass out. I was right for not trusting that person. You'll say, I wonder why I was always triggered by that person. Why was I always so defensive and ready to go off? And you look back and say, well, damn, I was right. So accept your mistakes. Accept the fact that you're different. Accept your path. See, when you look back at your mistakes, we have a tendency to still feel bad about them. Damn, I wish I would have did that better. Damn, I wish I would have said that a little bit differently. I didn't have to be the king of swords in reverse for that. I could have chose my words a little better. Or perhaps I shouldn't have took certain actions. So what happens, you learn from your mistakes and you keep moving. And as long as you don't continue down the road, the same path, and you continue to grow, there'll come a time where God will show you. He'll put you in a place where you have no choice but to sit your ass down, be quiet, and reminisce, if you will, about your yesterdays and your last nights, previous encounters. And he'll show you exactly why you did what you did, said what you said. And he'll show you about the people involved, the people that brought that out of you. Because he'll expose them for who they are. Now, there'll be a chance to reconcile if you are resisting someone who is true. If they're able to forgive you and accept you've changed, that's on them. But you have to accept the fact that you're still learning, you're still growing, you're still gonna go through shit. You're still gonna trip, you're still gonna stub your toe. You're still gonna crop dust people on the way out the room. What is that I smell? The trick is to continue to get better and better. Not become like the people who had you feeling some kind of way about some shit that had nothing to do with you. Sometimes your enemies cancel each other out. They might team up on you and betray you. And these could be people you trust or look up to or admire or hold in high regard, blah, blah, blah. And you could be wondering, well, what do I do about this one? Or what do I say to this one? How do I choose? Well, if they tag team together and set upon a course to bring anguish to your heart, they belong together. That's why God set you apart. So you can sit back and take a look at the shit you escaped from. That's all it was. It was a part of your growth. It was a part of your development. Granted, you are a learning person and someone who wants to improve. Rare you are, if that you are. Because many people are just looking for safe havens to sit back and talk about those who are out there trying to achieve a thing, or overcome a handicap, strive for better than where they started. you're gonna have to accept that too. Damn it, I lost my thought. I'll have to accept that too. And move on to the next one. Perhaps it'll be better. In the moment, we're just trying to deal with the matter at hand. We're not looking at the grand scheme. We're not looking at how pebbles, which will be words, or these stones that represent actions, can make waves. In that moment, they become ripples, that become echoes, that become resentment, that become contempt, that become revenge, because you're still riding the wave, because you are still surfing, because you're still upright, because you're still moving, because you're still growing, because you're still learning. You see, they are stuck in that moment. They haven't accepted. They too had a part in that. They consider themselves apart from that, but that's not true. It's not what God said. See, they stay in that moment. They watch you move on from it, on that wave. In the distance, they see it as a ripple because it's so far away. The sound of that wave echoes back to that moment they are stuck in, and they start to resent you for being so far away from them. Now they want revenge. See how that works? Now, both of you had accepted your part in the situation at hand. That moment, that would be representing a stone, the one that made the wave. You both would have grew from that moment, but one chose to play God and set themselves apart, stay in that moment, and accept their hand in the situation, the part they played, in other words, okay? Now they're judging you, right? On the other hand, you rode the wave to a new level, to a place where God said, sit your ass down, take a break. And I'm going to show you why these things happen. I'm going to show you why they had to happen this way. It's an odd balance. You see, if that hadn't transpired the way it did, and if you yourself would have stayed in that moment too, you would have been canceled out. But for being obedient and riding that wave and learning and growing and continuing, you were granted a place of peace. God put you under a hedge, gave you a place to rest so you could wipe your brow and look back. And He shows you, He enlightens you. You see? But remember, your part is to learn. Your part is to grow. Your part is to develop. Your part is to improve. Your part is to always be curious. Your part is to shine. Your part is to be you. Your part is to say, fuck that man-made safe haven. You're not here. You're not here to be safe. You're here to live. You're here to learn, all right? You're here to grow, all right? You ain't here to be safe. What the fuck is that? Granted, you don't need to be running red lights, drinking and driving, and all that shit. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about self-help. I'm talking about self-improvement. I'm talking about self-love. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about being reckless in your decision-making just because everybody else is doing it. Nah. I'm talking about you doing exactly what you set out to with your gift, the one that God gave you. No matter how frightening it may appear, ride that wave. Accept who you are. Accept who they are. Accept your path. Accept your moment. Accept love. Sometimes, man, God will give you something and you'll say, man, that's fine right there. But then you begin to question it, won't you? And, well, why the hell you might even go talk to your friends about it, wondering and shit, like, and they may tell you, oh, they have ulterior motives, and then you may start to treat that person as if they had ulterior motives. Or look at that gift or that opportunity as if it's a scam. But what if it's not? What if they don't? What if it's just a blessing? What if he or she really like your ass? Just accept it and do your part. Do right. Just do right by it. You see? Because if you're learning, if you are a good person, I should say, whatever you do with that opportunity, it's going to be the right thing. And however that opportunity turns out, however it turns out, if it stays, if it goes, if it crumbles, if it grows, if it stumbles, and you help it up and it bites you, because if it was a fucking snake, it was all part of your development. And you gotta accept that shit. Right? You gotta accept it, man. And move on to the next thing. Because when you are pure of heart, what you do will be of a pure nature, something guided by God. So even if you're angry and you're cussing, it's because somebody stepped on something sacred and you were protecting it, weren't you? You were defending it. I'm not sure you would be walking around looking to be triggered. I'm not sure you would intentionally set out to cause trouble or take a course for the sole purpose of bringing anguish to someone's heart. I don't think you would do that. So perhaps you fumbled a few times, dropped the ball a few times. That pure heart evokes God's grace because he knew you meant well. It's New Dreams Network. Something to think about. Peace.